Jay, I'm Sumit with Andaz TV. It's great to have you on the show.
Thanks.
Could you tell us a little bit about Do Good As You Go?
So Do Good As You Go is basically a nonprofit charity. We're trying to transform travel by helping people to put an element of positive impact into their travels. We work with a network of about 300 entrepreneurs, IT professionals, teachers, doctors, whatever, who are traveling around the world, and they do skills transfer workshops with children at orphanages, street kid shelters, schools, and entrepreneur groups around the world.
Fantastic. So Jay, you're doing this and you're doing Infinite Monkeys. So are these both startups that you have a very, very central position in?
We are a two-startup family.
Right.
I primarily run Infinite Monkeys. My wife primarily runs Do Good As You Go, but we're both involved in both.
Wow, fantastic. And how did the idea for Do Good As You Go come about?
So I lived in Asia for about 13 years, traveled around in a Land Cruiser, and would come into these communities where children in extreme poverty, and we wanted to do something, wanted to help beyond just sort of handing out pencils and candy and that sort of thing. We wanted to actually make a difference. And most of the volunteering programs that are out there, if you're not a doctor, are about helping to build a school or mend fences or that. But my wife and I were both people with MBAs, we have real skills, and we want to actually contribute in some way. And it just doesn't exist. And so we created this network for people who have skills and want to contribute. And so we have entrepreneurship workshops, we have photography workshops where we donate cameras and teach kids how to use, how to do photography. We have agriculture, healthcare, sports, all kinds of great programs.
Fantastic. And so how long has Do Good As You Go been around?
It's about 3 years now, and it's growing like mad because there's a lot of people who are out there that want to do something on the trip. Either they're traveling for business or pleasure, maybe they're successful entrepreneurs and taking a break from their careers, and they come into contact and they want to make a difference and they don't know how. And it's just inherently inefficient for the thousands of travelers that are out there, millions of travelers, to each one go one by one to the orphanages and try and find good partners who are reliable and trustworthy and have needs. And so what we've done is we've essentially become an aggregator where we have a network of trusted partners, local partners on 4 continents who we know what they need and that they're reliable. And then on the other side, we have these hundreds of travelers and we match them up based on where you're traveling and what your skills are.
Can you talk a little bit about what has made it so that you've made service and giving back a central point in your life versus so many of us who are busy and we're trying to build big things and don't necessarily find the time to put into something like this?
I think you have to. The fact is I used to fly 1 million miles a year and would go to a lot of communities and realize that I'm getting so much value from the communities that I travel to, even if it's just pictures and experiences. But we very rarely give back. Maybe you put some money into the hotels where you're staying, but that goes to a corporation, And so we just wanted to find a way to contribute as humans, to make a difference in every day. And we come up with the concept of net positive impact, right? To look at your life and say, okay, what am I doing in the world? And you might call it karma if you want, Are you contributing to the planet in a good way? And that might be through the environment, it might be through skills transfer, it might be financial donations, whatever, but in some way make a difference and make it a part of your day-to-day life.
That's a fantastic vision.
Thank you.
And so now when you're building something like this, it's different than building something for profit when you can give somebody equity, you can pay somebody, you can build an organization around it. Here you're building something that's impactful, but it's not necessarily something that you can use those means of incenting people to help out. How did you?
It's true you don't have those means, but at the same time, people will contribute because they're passionate about the mission, And so we have entrepreneurs, we have IT people who, maybe they're a web developer or a database guy or a Drupal expert, whatever it may be, and they say, you know what, I'm willing to give a few hours a week. I'm a web developer anyhow. I'm happy to do it if it's making a difference, and it gives them some meaning to what they're working on as well. So it's a different set of skills. But at the same time, there's a lot of things that are in common. Both of my ventures, the nonprofit and the for-profit, use Odesk, for example. We rely heavily on virtual teams around the world. And that's what allows us to scale rapidly and to have greater impact without big budgets. Because especially on the nonprofit side, I'm the main founder of it. We don't have big budgets. We rely on, at the moment, about 30 volunteers at the head office level to try and grow out these programs.
Wow.
And so you have to be efficient.
Yeah, 30 volunteers, that's not a small organization.
No,
and,
it's not. No, it's
and
not.
it's a beautiful thing that you've built. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much.
Wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, thanks.